Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and a link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show increases the live audience, of course, and this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you are new to the channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Arwin and Sleeping Warrior. How are you both doing?
All is good, sir. All is good.
Excellent. How are you, Arwin? You good?
Yeah, it's warm again.
It is crystal
really,
clear.
really warm.
Hey Mark, how you doing? Good to have you.
Hello, gentlemen. All right.
Good morning, Marcus. How are we?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Is the weather glorious for you today, sir?
No, disappointingly cloudy.
Oh, you dead quiet, Mark. Speak up a little bit.
A picture of the Isle of Man, but there's nothing.
Got nothing.
Is it dead quiet?
Got nothing. No.
That's a shame.
Wait for another day.
Branty's out there doing some observations, so he might find the same exact thing, which is that it's a lovely day, but visibility isn't great.
No.
Yeah, because there's no correlation with the good weather and good visibility.
Seems to be that way.
Mark, I don't know if it was me, but you sounded really low volume and quite muffled.
I've turned him up.
You want to do a mic check, Mark?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, that's better.
Is it? Yeah, good.
So you're saying the weather's not particularly good where you are?
No, inland is beautiful. It's quite warm, but on the beach, the visibility is, I don't know, must be only 3 miles because of that bloody curvature.
Oh, right.
I couldn't see a thing beyond 3 miles.
So curvature's a thing, is it? I didn't realise it was a thing anymore. I thought it had all stopped.
Can I just show you a work in progress?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's now termed the obstruction formerly known as curvature, just for your future reference, Mark.
Okay. Let me find what I've been working on today. Right.
Let me know when you're ready.
Do you remember this picture?
We do.
Right. Well, I took it out to the beach this morning and actually allowed the tide to come up over the feet of the tripod, so I was 4 inches above the actual surface of the water. Where's the... So this is my results. That's with the camera above the water, 4 inches. All those birds there, they're all ball earthers because as the sea rose, they all flew away, and so there was just one left. That fella there.
It's like you found the hump.
And normally, these clouds are covering the Isle of Man. I would be able to see the Isle of Man all along that horizon. But I'm just learning how to use this camera with the feet of the tripod actually in the water.
Doesn't it look flat as a pancake, that sea?
Oh, it does, absolutely. Yeah. Flat as a pancake. Now here's another thing. Now, I'm actually at the, oh, there we go. That was this morning as well. That lighthouse it's maybe a mile off the coast, so there's nothing provable there other than that it's so flat.
Mark, you sounded like you're talking into a sock. What's going on?
I don't know. I need to get myself a new mic. Is that any better?
Right.
A sock account, are you?
You don't normally sound bad. For some reason, you sound bad today.
Oh, sorry. Right, another thing. At the moment, I am actually doing a master's degree in photography. So I'm doing some really quirky stuff. What have I just done here? It's come through. I'm actually using a pinhole camera. So I took a pinhole camera down to it's not scanned yet properly. I'll wait until this scan comes through and I'll show what I got. Does it come through?
So I wonder if Rumpus is actually going to come in halfway of the show now instead of showing up the last 5 minutes.
No, I don't think he'll come in because that gives us plenty of time to attack. He'll tactically and strategically come in late so that he can make his points and snivel off into the background like a shadow.
Hold on a second. So what we're looking at now, Mark, is a pinhole camera image. Is that right?
Yeah, this is the camera I'm using. Just a little wooden box with a film inside it, and this little door here opens up a pinhole. Now I've just scanned it, and it's come through on its side. So I just need to stop again. So, right, this is Belfast Lock. It's not allowing me to twist it over for some reason because I'm sharing it. Let me just close that down and I'll come back to you, okay? So
and you come back to us, did you say?
No, I need to close my sharing the screen so that I can just spin that round. So carry on talking.
I just want to mention my perspective. Apparently, Wolfie's done a cargo ship video, and my perspective has just dicked it all over the place. So shout out to Rory, but I haven't seen Wolfie's cargo ship video. So let it be known that my perspective has debunked Wolfie. Apparently, go and check out that video because I did see it come up in the notifiers, but I was too busy arguing with Nathan over something, so I missed it.
You were arguing with Nathan?
Yeah, me and Nathan don't always agree on stuff.
I was about to say, as is often the case.
Yeah. Publicly, we're like solid, but in the background, we don't always agree.
You're like a bickering married couple, are you?
We just fight to the death.
Gladiators have to practice too.
Yeah, that's it. It's jousting practice.
We weren't even debating flat Earth. We were talking about PCs.
I know.
But which is the better?
Thank God we both agreed that the Earth's not a ball, because if we didn't agree that the Earth wasn't a ball, I'd be blocked. I'd be considered a troll.
Yeah, we took about 3 hours debating about £12 worth of part. But anyway, that's another story. I don't even want to get into it.
No. Oh, I'll have to grab this phone. I'll be back.
How are you getting on, Mark? Have you managed to rotate it?
I'm just opening Photoshop now.
Wait, did you go to the equator, take a picture there?
No. Where have you got that from?
Well, it's on its side, isn't it?
Boom, boom.
Like all the pictures in Australia are upside down. Yeah.
Antipode. Right, I'm going to do some shout outs then as it's gone stale while Mark's rotating his picture. Have a look. Who's who? Adam Meakin, good to see you. Joy, thanks for being here. John Watson, nice to see you as always. Hello, Sarah. Hi, Ute. Ding Ding Knockout. Good to have you in our chat room. Good to see you. Unearther. Gravity Waves. D. And Tidal Waves. One to everybody. David, good to see you as well. Legendary Looming Non-Standard Refraction Hyena. Hello, fellow Earthlings. Hello to you too. Zulu1, good to see you. Vinegar Strokes, thanks for being here. Lenny Harry, hello. Multi Tom Tom, hello. Individual one, good to see you. Missed anybody?
Right, I'm ready.
Andres, good to have you as well. Nearly there. Jimbo, good to see you. I think that might be it. If I've missed you, I'm sorry. Sam, just at the end. Good to have you, Sam.
So how are we getting on with Mark? Is he doing it or not?
I think he's on this case.
Or have I missed it?
No,
Yeah, you
no,
haven't.
no, no. We were doing shout outs while he rotated this picture that we've got on screen now. So talk us through it.
Right, okay. I have a little wooden box that I put a 120 medium format film into. The F value of the box is F127, and a little tiny pinhole that's 0.3 of a millimeter wide. So I took it down to the beach, stuck it on the beach about a foot above the water level. So this is all the shale of the beach. And way in the distance here, I'm going to start expanding now. This white bit here is Kilroot Power Station, which is 10 miles away from where I was. And if you can just see a little black, maybe you can't.
You might have to speak up a little bit. You're just a little bit muffled. Say that again.
Right, so this is Kilroot Power Station, which is 10 miles away, and it's been caught by a pinhole camera. And this black line here is a pipeline that comes actually into the sea so that the Kilroot can either receive oil or coal. So that's its oil in. And this is the bit that I'm going to be working on with a proper camera. But I just took a pinhole camera in that day just to enjoy photography as an art rather than trying to prove the Earth is flat. But I'm pretty happy with what I've got here.
Very cool.
That's Belfast. It's 10 miles across from where I would be standing there. What I am learning is that trying to look at something that's 30 miles away is quite problematic over the sea because there's so many different variables. But Belfast Lock is very calm and it's 10 miles long. So if I can get my camera actually in the water again and start taking photographs of things that are 10 miles away, actually at surface level, maybe just three inches above the water. See if I can get some success the way Ranty's been getting his success.
What's the idea of using a pinhole camera? Why use a pinhole camera?
Because it's arty.
Just because it's arty?
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's cool. I like it. Good enough reason as any.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
as I say, I'm doing a master's degree in photography at the moment. So I've got to take a lot of photographs.
When does
How
that
was this picture
that
taken?
conclude?
Because it looks like it's been motion, like it's in motion.
That would have been a 5-second exposure.
Wait, so you open the shutter like long, so it's overexposed. How was?
No, well, it's not overexposed. It would be underexposed if I didn't hold it open.
Overexposed is perfect. I would say that was really well done. For a pinhole camera, that's a fantastic result.
Oh, you want to see the other stuff I've got?
A pinhole camera? Wait, what is that?
Okay, it's a little wooden box. That there. That's the camera that's up.
What?
Yeah, now do you think it's overexposed,
Really?
Darwin?
Holy.
Yeah, that ring there is where I can.
So that's like a 19th century camera, basically.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's really amazing. I thought, oh yeah, your regular photograph was a little bit blurry. Okay, so.
Right. But the thing is, these white things in the background are 10 miles away. That's Kilroot Power Station. These are holiday homes along here, along the coast. So the pinhole camera can catch that. Just wait till I get my zoom lens on that.
Excellent stuff.
Work in progress.
So, how is it done? Is there a digital component to it, or is this like a literal chemical photograph that
Yeah,
you
it's a
scanned in?
wet process. You put a film in the back of it.
Sorry?
You put a film in that. It's a medium format film.
Yeah, so it's a chemical photograph, basically.
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
A wet process. Let me just see whether I can find. Carry on talking amongst yourselves, and I'll get some other stuff up that I've been doing with the pinhole camera. This is all my work here.
But that is pretty incredible quality for a color photo using such an old system.
I made a camera from a coconut. Again, it's a pinhole camera. So that's the actual lens in there. And with a coconut, this is what you get. Some really weird stuff. This is Belfast Castle, taken with a coconut.
Wow.
Now, we have a museum that's dedicated to the Titanic, and that's the Titanic Museum, taken from a coconut.
I see a lot of curve there.
Oh, right. Yeah. Uh-oh. There we go.
Wow, there's some surreal pictures.
Yeah. And that's taken with a coconut.
So why is it shaped like this? Is it because
Because
where
the
the light
film,
is backdropped, or is it because of the shape of the entrance?
it's the shape of the film, where the film is lying in there. You see this circular metal bit here? The film is on, it's not a flat plane, on a curved plane. It goes around the coconut.
Sorry, I have a real hard time trying to figure out what you're saying. You're so muffled, I can barely make out your words.
The film goes actually inside this metal bit. But it doesn't go flat to the lens, it goes curved around the lens. And that's the reason why you get weird lines. So that's the way the camera sees it.
All right.
Have you got it yet? No?
I'd like to see the inside of that coconut camera setup.
All right, I'll send you some pictures of it later on. This is something I took with it's called an anamorphic pinhole. This has been quite a few years now. Have you ever heard of the Giant's Causeway? Have you ever heard of the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland? It's an unusual rock formation on the cliffs. This is taken with a similar camera to the coconut, and that's the horizon.
Oh, that's some serious curvature right there.
Anyway, folks, we'll carry on talking about flat Earth.
Thanks for that. That was cool.
Is my mic really bad today, is it?
Yeah, I can just about make out what you're saying, but I'm muting myself and turning up my system so I can hear you a bit clearer.
Okay, I need to change this mic, don't I? Get a new one.
Mark, if you don't mind my bluntness, you sound naff for some reason. I'm struggling to wake out any of your words. I can hear the odd word I can pick out, but it's like you're just looking through the fog. It's like trying to view St. Bees and you can't see through it.
It's like you're using a can for a microphone.
Yeah, the string, and it's connected.
Exactly. You're resorting to old tech.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Carry on talking, gentlemen. I'll try and do what I can with this, all right?
Have you just got on your hello Alan?
How do I sound? Do I sound fabulous?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
You sound like voice porn, Alan.
Voice porn.
Voice porn. Yeah.
That sounds pretty specialist, Tony.
Well, to be fair, compared to Mark at the moment, anything's better.
I think.
Sorry, I don't mean to bash Mark, but
I think Mark's speaking from a padded cell.
Now that gives a lot better quality sound, actually.
If you let me know what you're using, a Mac or a PC, Mark, I'll post you out some headphones with a mic on them.
I'm using PC.
PC, so you've got a 2 jacks,
Mark.
one for a mic and one for a pair of headphones, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mark,
Do you
just put
have
your
a
address in-
microphone in your webcam? Because you might have been accidentally switched to that microphone. Happens more often.
Either
Because
way,
some of them got really crappy microphones.
just send us your address in Skype and I'll post you some headphones with a decent
Oh.
mic on it.
Or Tesco have got an offer on at the minute for the blue snowball that Mark thingy uses, Sergeant. It's down from 60 down to 40 quid. That's a bargain.
But I'm getting a free one now. I don't want to buy one.
I was going to say, I'll send you something for free.
My microphone was like €7 or something.
Yeah, and you sound fantastic, to be honest, Darwin.
Yeah.
So, Arwin, are you going to debate
Hey, Tim.
Mr. Scott?
How you doing?
Hello.
Sorry?
Are you going to debate Mr. Scott Veach?
Hello.
Scott
Hello.
Veach. Sure, if he'll come in.
No, he's going to set something up on his own, just you and him.
Oh, really? Well, that's the first that I've heard about it.
I'm here to inform.
Right.
Scott
Forget
Beach
the
Darwin, huh?
information. Tim's here to show us some flat Earth proof. What have you got, Tim?
I got some good stuff. I just wanted to see from the flat Earth perspective how this kind of stuff works. Now, I just wanted to say, let's just pretend that I'm completely unbiased. I am not Timothy Osman. I'm just a dude that went and did some observations and said, hey, what's this?
Okay, well, let's see how long that
So
lasts.
this here, yeah, this here is Salt Lake City from 26 miles away. As you can see,
Bulge.
Yeah, what's
as
the
you can
camera height?
see,
Hold on, give him a bloody minute.
you
Sorry.
guys are just vultures.
No, just wondering.
hey,
what's the camera height?
I'm new. I don't know what the Earth's shape is. I'm just a new guy. So 22 feet this is. And as you can see right here, we actually have the non-standard looming refraction hyena. Just to let you know.
That's
So that
awesome.
is actually a hyena.
No, that's a cow.
It's a coyote.
Well, that passes a hyena.
No,
so
it's a
this
straw
is-
man argument regurgitation cow.
This is from 2 feet above the water.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's quite the difference.
Yeah, we can. Are we going to be intellectually honest with what we see here, or are we going to pretend that we're going to be something else? What's the difference
This
between
here
two?
is the Capitol building. The Capitol building, if you actually look at building or pictures of it, it's hundreds of feet up. Hundreds of feet up. That's why it's actually kind of even with these skyscrapers here. So, yeah, let's be honest. Actually, I'm just new to the conversation,
So
and I have no idea what the shape of the Earth is. But I do see 26 miles away that buildings are being highly obstructed.
And miraged.
yeah,
Pretty damn.
How can
there's
you
a lot
tell
of
what the
miraging going on?
how can you tell what the obstruction is?
I can tell what the obstruction is because I made more. And the buildings aren't there. No matter, this is a P900, of course, the flat Earth camera of choice. So I'm zooming in. As you can see, this is the 2-foot observation. And most of the buildings are gone.
Are you able to show us what it's meant to look like with Google Earth?
Now, this one's from 22 feet. As you can see, more of the buildings are there, and we will see the non-standard fraction hyena run by here in a second. So as you can see, even from 22 feet, 26 miles away, most of the skyline is below. There it is. There he is.
Tim, what's the
See
land
him?
mass? What's the land mass at the bottom of the? It looks like a. Where the hyena is. What's the land? How far away is that land?
No idea.
But the buildings are 26 miles away.
Buildings are 26 miles away.
Can you see a mirage
And-
effect in that?
It's really besides the point. But yeah, I mean, there's some inferior miraging going on, it looks
Right,
Yeah,
like.
Tim,
lots of
hold on,
it.
look there a sec, Tim.
And actually not in the water. The water seems to be perfectly up to the coast, so there's no bulge in the water
Press
part at
pause,
least.
Tim.
You see
Well,
the two
it's
buildings
22 feet up.
on the right-hand side, the two white smudges on the right-hand side. What are they standing on? Are they standing on air or what's happening there?
It's a giant mirage. It's all heat from the sand causing the mirage.
Okay, now Tim, if we were to look at those buildings, we're looking at the moment on a Z-axis, seeing something obscuring it. If we could go a few miles to create all that Z-axis into an X-axis, what would you expect to see? A curve, or would you expect it to be straight? You understand my question?
It's really, I mean, I came on here actually to see how this happens and why this is what, really, I want to know, like, you guys over in UK do these observations, and I'm just wondering, how come I can do all these observations? And I've done these, this is like my 5th time going over here. It's always the same. And it's like, do you guys go through your images and pick the ones that you can say that are flat Earth? Because like I literally always see this. I always see obstruction.
But we
Where's
have to
the
take into
obstruction
account
beginning?
all the different parameters
Hold on a
before
second.
we can draw a conclusion.
Oh, okay, Anthony.
Hang on. What we can do is we can look at the evidence that's presented, and we can point things out and ask Tim, does he agree with the points that we're making out? Nath, would you mind sharing my
Yeah, you
screen? Tim, can you see what I've got on screen?
What I'm got on screen, let me
Can you
see.
see what I'm presenting on screen?
Oh yeah, I see what you got on screen.
So I've got a black line, and I've put the black line through a position that seems to be a mirror for the things that are above and below. You can see these seem to be, and particularly this building here. This has got a high gap above the line, and it seems to be mirrored underneath. And I want to ask you, do you agree with me that that's evidence of a superior mirage?
Superior? I would probably have to say it's inferior.
Why would you say it's inferior?
Because the image isn't being stretched.
If it was an inferior mirage, would you agree with me that that would be the hard horizon there, and the line below it would be the inferior mirage, because an inferior mirage is below the horizon, correct?
Where do you get this terminology, hard horizon and apparent horizon? Where can I find this anywhere?
An
I can
inferior
explain it to
mirage
you.
and a superior mirage are two well-known phrases, and I'm asking you, do you understand the
No,
difference? between the two?
you just said hard horizon. Okay, then I asked, where do you get the terminology hard horizon and apparent horizon? Where do you get that from?
Escaping my question with another
No,
question.
no. Your question entails something, as in hard horizon, that I'm trying to get the terminology for.
I'm asking you, do we see?
No. Where do you get the hard horizon? Just answer the freaking question, dude. Where do you get
A hard
hard
horizon
horizon?
is the real horizon, and apparent horizon is what you see like an horizon. Okay?
Where do you get this terminology from?
Well, hang
Where
on,
do you
my
get this
point
We
is being
use
totally
it.
obfuscated.
It is being totally obfuscated. You've asked about why we see it, this being obstruction, and now he's showing you, and you won't concede a point. You're going off on a tangent about the definition.
Correct.
No, it's not a tangent. In a formal debate, you do define your terms. Okay, so you said hard horizon in that question.
Right,
So I'm
before
asking
that-
what a hard horizon is.
Before
Totally
that, Tim,
fair.
I asked you, did you agree that this was evidence of an inferior
What
mirage?
is a
And
hard
you said
horizon?
no. You said it was a superior mirage. So I asked
No,
you.
you're getting that backwards, actually. You said
No.
superior, I said inferior. Yes, you can go back and listen.
That's what I said. I said this was
No,
evidence.
you
of a
just got it
superior
backwards,
mirage.
dude.
Okay,
I said
Tim,
there's evidence of
sorry, I've
superior
got to.
mirage.
I hate to side with him against you, but I've got to, because the whole point of this is him addressing your question. Why do we have this obstruction? Now he's addressing it, and you're obfuscating him addressing it. You know.
Do you agree that this is evidence of a superior mirage or not?
No.
Right. So then you'll think it's a ball. You're entitled to think that it's a ball if you wish. but there is evidence on screen right now of a superior mirage, and it's reflecting below the image, causing the obstruction that you believe to be curvature, but in actual fact is a superior mirage. Done.
It's basically a reflection in the heat. Just like
So
the
this is
bridge you
actually-
demonstrated yesterday.
This is actually a very cool time. So I'll show you one that's in the heat. This was the same day, quite a bit hotter. So this happens all the time. I've never seen it to where it looks like you can see even close to all the buildings. There are many buildings that are being obstructed. So again, this is a P900 looking 26 miles away. You can see the same thing, miraging going on here. And my issue is, and I do this all the time, like I said, this is not a one-off. This is an occurrence that happens every single time I've been out there. It's been 5 times now.
Yeah.
So
the same
hot
scenario.
region. It's bound to happen. In hot regions, there will be a lot of
and like I said,
miraging.
this is what happens every time that it's hot. I have many different images where this is hot. I can hardly make out what the buildings are.
Tim, can you
But-
go and do put that 26 miles on an x-axis that next time you go out there?
What does that even mean, dude?
Well, if
From
you
left- from
repositioned
left to
yourself,
right in
you
the
got a
image.
z-axis, what's directly in front of you. If you could move yourself a few miles to the left and look at that same line, but now it becomes horizontal or an x-axis, you would expect to see a curve along it. If your conclusion is that the z-axis is a curve.
It's just it's so irrelevant. I don't even know what to say about that, dude.
But
I really
it's relevant.
don't.
What he's
Well,
saying
Well,
is,
it's what I rely on.
what he's
I
saying
think
is,
it'd
if we're
sound really
looking,
good if you'd been smoking a lot of joints. That
I guess, dude. I don't
so
smoke
what he's saying
anymore,
is,
so.
if you were looking at this image that's on screen now at these buildings, and we were looking from front to back and saying there is curvature obscuring the bottom, even though there's a demonstrable mirage from the lower images and in this image, I've been highlighting it for the audience. If you're suggesting that there is a curve between us and those buildings, if you were to look down the length of those buildings, you would be able to see that exact curve that is causing the obstruction visible in the photography. That's what Mark's saying.
So, where are the buildings? You're saying that they're not there, but they're there on a flat Earth. Is what you're saying?
No.
Where are
The
the
bottom
of the
part
buildings?
is a reflection. It's
Yeah,
a
but
reflection
where are the
in
bottom of the buildings?
on the sand, on the hot sand. It is being miraged.
So it's being
Superior mirage.
It's gone. It's gone. It's below the horizon.
Now you're seeing a reflection of part of the buildings below them. It's being visually displaced downwards because
So you're
of the hot
saying
sand that is over there.
And like I was trying to say, is that this image in this time was about 50 degrees. All right. So
That should be
before
plenty
when
of
it's
hot
all
to do that.
oh okay 50 degrees really. The sun was actually it was about I think about 6 o'clock. It was cooling off heavily, and basically I could see much clearer. I mean, you can see this with your eyes. You can walk up and down the causeway and see with your eyes the difference. So you're saying that there's buildings under here. You understand
No,
that?
there's not buildings under there. It's
Yeah,
a
there are.
reflection. The half of what you're seeing
No.
is a
There are
reflection. You
buildings
can see
here.
the white,
There,
the
Arwen,
several white
you don't know
little
this area.
spots that are just mid
Arwen,
height. Are they
Arwen.
floating in the air?
Nathan, just
Arwen,
present my
you don't know this area, first of all. So the
So
thing is,
you're saying these white
when
things
you-
here
oh, okay,
all
go
over
ahead.
the place are just
Go
floating
ahead.
in midair? Is that what you're saying?
Were you done? Can I speak now?
So you're not gonna address what I just said?
No, I actually was trying to say something when you interrupted me. So
Right.
anyway, there
You're
are
not gonna
buildings
address it,
all
okay.
throughout here. There are buildings all throughout here. Not only that, but there are buildings that are closer to this ground here, and there's a highway that runs through it that is very elevated. So I mean, I actually going home take the highway, and I'll never see the highway. I never see any of these buildings that are over here. They're huge buildings. that are
Nathan.
completely gone every single time.
And is it your conclusion
You're
that there must be a
obstructing
curve?
Yeah, you're on.
I never
Anthony.
said
We're
anything
getting
about a curve. I'm
trolls
asking
at the
from the
moment.
flat Earth perspective why 3/4 of the buildings are gone, guys.
Right, I'm trying to.
I just told you, Mirage.
A mirage.
So
Alvin,
hold on.
give me a
Can you
minute,
just,
please.
if you can
Sure.
click on Anthony's screen locally, I think he wants to show you what he's trying to explain.
Right, I've took two stills out of your image. I'll deal with the bottom one first because it's the clearest. There's another line that dissects the bottom of your image. It appears that from the evidence on screen right now that there is a superior mirage, and it's being reflected below the image, creating an obstruction that you believe is called curvature.
I never said that.
I'll do the same thing on this one. There is a line that goes through the image, and it is reflecting the top part of what you're seeing here. The building underneath, the building. And that is another evidence of a superior mirage creating obstruction that you believe and call curvature. It isn't curvature. It is demonstrably the case that it's a superior mirage. And I know that you know this, Tim.
Superior mirage?
Superior.
See, I find this hilarious because when I started Flat Earth 3.5 years ago, 3 years ago-ish, they took the Joshua Noakley time lapses and they said, oh, you can, it's a superior mirage, and everyone laughed, and oh, these don't exist, and mirages don't exist, and mirages explain the curvature and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and then
twisting
now
the
what we do
explanation out of
Hold
context.
on, Anthony, let him get to the end of his point.
Now what we do is we use literal words like mirage, inferior, superior, fata morgana, all of these things to explain why buildings are being completely obstructed by ground.
You're muted.
By no, sorry, Tim. Just unmute yourself, Tim.
So I'm saying that it's A, gaslighting, and B, undemonstrable. It's unquantifiable. You can say that yes, there is miraging going on in these images, but you have no way of explaining where the buildings are. So the buildings are below the horizon on the flat Earth for some reason. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't jive.
That's a complete straw man. That's a complete. We can definitely. No, we can explain exactly where they are.
Right, just before we move on, though, hold on. I just want to address one point before we move on to the tete-a-tete between Anthony and Tim, which is to say that when they say it's a mirage, they are talking about infinite layers of changes of medium to cause infinite numbers of Snell effects, bending straight lines of light travelling through the atmosphere around a curved Earth. That's what globers mean when they say mirage.
So you guys mean that it's actually pulling the image downward into the flat Earth, kind of like a sunset.
No, it's visually obvious what's happening. It's on screen right now. There is a mirage. It is demonstrably obvious. Unlike the claim that stuff is being curved around the Earth by infinite Snell effects happening in the infinite changes of gradient that we don't observe.
So you're saying that I can't see the buildings where I've repeated it several times due to miraging?
Yeah.
Yeah, as on screen demonstrated now. It's visually obvious in your images.
I'm not denying that there's miraging, and really, there's always a bit of miraging. You have to have some very good atmospheric effects to not have any types of miraging, but if I went back and there wasn't any evidence of miraging, it would be something else. Well, you guys know that it would.
There is a way around that, though.
You just said that
you can't
we'll let you
explain
get your words in, Arwin. I just want to address it with one point, because this has been demonstrated by Ranty. So in terms of the mirage line that you're seeing, you're basically 90 degrees to it. Where you're looking, this line, I can't show you, but the audience can see, you're 90 degrees to that line. Now, if you can get below that line, as Ranty has demonstrated, and the seas are calm enough, you can get the complete opposite effect, which is with the buildings miraging up as opposed to down. Well, currently, the mirage that's going down, I don't care how it's the terminology for it, the reflection of the tops of these buildings below themselves is reversed if you get below that line. And Ranty has demonstrated this.
All right, so here's another thing. You want to share me really quickly?
Yeah, sure.
I take the drone out, and I think, you know, the Great Salt Lake is probably one of the best things to do for anybody who's actually not trying to gaslight people or whatever. They're actually looking for answers. When you rise up with the drone, it becomes very evident that as you get higher, you start to see more land. And this doesn't seem to be in jive with the flat Earth, okay? It seems to go with a sphere when there's, if you can look over here, there's going to be mountains that start to rise up. And you can't see them from the ground, but as you rise up, you can start to see them. You can start to see mountains way, way in the distance become more and more visible. These aren't just little teeny bobs in the water. These are huge mountains in the back, hundreds of feet high. So this is another thing. It's like, okay, so we have something that's proportional to height as well, that then starts to show more of the obstructed. So really, you know, you guys can call it what you want, but, you know, the video and the images that I have and what Soundly's done and all this kind of stuff. But it's, I mean, it's like it's not, no, I mean, okay, but it's completely equivalent to altitude. You can start to see more and more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like whatever, you know, like explain away whatever you want to continue this fantasy. But guys, you have to understand why people do believe that it's a globe. Like these tests don't comport with flat Earth, and because you can explain them in whatever way, it's not good enough. I'm just saying, like, I'm using P900, I'm using an expensive drone, I'm
muted again.
Peaceful though.
Yeah, but we can explain it, and we also have observations to the contrary.
So what does that mean when we have observations to the contrary?
Well, the recent footage that Riley and Ranty took, when you go under a certain line, when you go really close to the ground, then you bypass the slant effect. Then
the slant effect?
Yeah, the slant effect. Yeah, you know, you've heard me say it over 100 times. Don't act.
Are
like
you
you
a slant
don't know what I'm
earther?
talking
I
about.
thought you were a flat earther. What is?
Been muted again. Sorry, Tim. We're picking on you today for some reason.
Can I present the Soundly stuff?
So yeah, I'd like to talk to you about Soundly stuff. Actually, that'd be great.
Well, hold on.
And how
hold
he
on,
shows
hold on.
curvature.
Hold on. What about Owen's point about the slant? I completely agree with. As you raise up, the amount that you can see from the 90-degree mark down increases with altitude.
Hi, Tony.
That makes absolutely no difference whether you're on a globe or flat plane. That will be true regardless.
Okay, on a flat plane over flat water, would altitude matter to see things such as mountains or buildings in the distance?
Absolutely.
Yes, it's called perspective.
It's
Okay, so you're
perspective,
just
and
gonna
it
invoke
also
perspective. So
and-
what is
Yes, that's
what
what it
is
is.
it in
And as well.
perspective? What is it in perspective that obstructs things from bottom up?
the miraging effect, the apparent slant. It also
That
migrates
is in
further.
perspective. That is in perspective
No,
somehow.
it's a combination. It's diffraction. It's a
Perspective?
diffraction-induced optical slant, and it combine. Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, it's so funny every time. Every time, it's so funny.
Hold on, say that again. I love that word salad, dude. Say that again, please. Oh my god,
Right
that
there.
was so funny. Say it again.
Diffraction-induced optical slant. It's not that complex.
Optical slant. That's what you call the curvature of the sphere Earth.
Yeah, no,
bro.
but there
This
is
where they
no
got you,
sphere
man.
Earth. It
Nathan,
migrates.
where they
It's an
got
optical
you.
effect.
Okay,
This
right,
guy
now
will
that's
say that
descended
it's the
into
globe
this,
of the
so fine,
heavens.
Anthony Soundly.
So
The
funny
globe of the
how
heavens.
reality just gives you
Arwen,
this
fine.
weird.
Look, you're just going to go around in a little row. I just can't be arsed with it. Go ahead,
The
Sleeping
globe
Warrior.
of the heavens and the slant Earth. This is where they got him. He's like almost there,
Not a
guys.
slant Earth, it's an optical.
Right, guys,
cumulative
both of you, hold on. Just
when he's just
look,
taking
look,
the
look.
piss.
That's the end of that conversation.
Stop talking, sir.
That's the end of it. Let's just not have 10 minutes of back and forth with you both saying slant, ha ha ha, slant, ha ha ha. Let's just have next. On to Soundly.
Yeah, let's on to Soundly. So
That's
you
good
think
stuff.
Soundly shows the curvature of the Earth as well, do you, Tim?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you see my screen at the minute?
Yeah.
These are his pylons over Lake Pontchartrain, yeah? He calls it he calls it a flat Earth game set match flat Earth debunked. It's one of his more popular videos, you're right?
Yeah, he's got
See all these
excellent
pylons?
flat Earth debunks.
Can you see how these pylons disappear off into the distance and then seem to lip back on underneath themselves like a horseshoe?
Yeah, it's a bulge, huh?
Right. Now, here's an example where a really good guy called Phuket.
God. Yeah, Phuket word. Wow.
Yeah, and what he does is he gets on a flat level bit of driveway or a path, road, call it whatever you want. And at the bottom, when he's very low to the surface, you can see that it does the same thing. As he changes his elevation and rises up, magically it all goes straight and flat. So what would happen if Soundly did the same thing? Now, when
Thank
he
you
got-
so much for bringing this up again with me on the panel. This is, praise Helios for this. Anyway, so how does this actually comport or match up with anything? I mean, look at that refraction he's got going on.
So I've paused it at this
Over
point.
first off, let's just say, is that straight? Is that a flat ground? First off,
Yes.
how do you know that?
Do you have any evidence to the contrary when he stated it in his
Hold on.
video?
No.
How
You're
do you
claiming
know
it's
that?
flat, Anthony. How do you know it's flat?
I'm happy to accept that it's not following any curve.
So you said I asked if it's flat, and you said yes, emphatically. Okay.
Yes.
So are you able to justify that in any way?
Yeah. Here we go.
How? Because he said so.
Do you see any curve other than this ripple in the middle, which could be a refractive effect? Does it evidence?
Except this ripple? Do you see any curve except this ripple? Okay.
So is the road flat or is
the
it
ripple
curved?
there?
Well,
Do you
come
have
on,
a
I don't know, to be fair,
side
Tim,
view,
now,
Anthony?
I hadn't seen it from this angle, but I mean, we're not talking about very far here. We're talking about, yards.
Yeah.
We're talking about the distance between 3 lampposts here, right? We're not talking about a massive distance.
Thank you for bringing that up. So in one video, which is Soundly's, we have a great distance, several miles. And then we have one that has lampposts on a not flat surface. So we're going to go ahead and compare the two. Is this correct? Is this what we're doing here?
The optical effect achieved is the same in both.
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually could have done this yesterday. I did see you do this yesterday. There's obviously heat waves when the sun heats up the road, which I saw plenty of yesterday. So we're gonna compare heat wave road on a not flat surface
No,
on
flat surface.
on something that's not even what is it, 100 feet?
Yeah,
Compare
that's
that
exactly
to
what we're
something
gonna
that's
do.
several miles that is level with the water. So this is a good comparison to you.
Yeah.
Because
I can do a small scale comparison and create mirages that block things on my flat table. Doesn't make my table curved. It's just the same optical effect in the small scale.
Exactly.
So how far is Soundly up from the ground, and how does this compare in any way to Soundly's video?
It's the same optical effect. That's how it compares.
This is how it compares to me. You watching? So as he goes down,
You're trolling, right?
He hasn't shown you yet.
You're trolling, right?
He hasn't shown you yet.
I'll freeze.
No, I
frame
saw
it.
this.
Right.
I've seen this. I mean, what is that?
So it's
What's that
the
supposed to
apparent
be?
Armco barrier bending back on itself, and it's exactly the same as we see in here. And we can observe that there's a low horizon, and we see the same here. We see a low horizon.
You're trolling, right?
It's the same phenomena. So are we seeing the curvature of the Earth, or are we seeing an optical effect that we can reproduce?
Except
That's not
Soundly's not 3 centimeters off the floor.
Yeah, that's not reproducing anything, dude. It's a total
Reproducing
non
the same
sequiter.
effect.
It
I don't
proves
care
the
what the
same
variables
Total
optical
non
effect.
sequitur.
You
No,
can
how
even
is it
see the
non-sequitur?
tower back there
That's a
standing
non-sequitur,
in
not
midair.
Hold on. Now we're just into yes, it is. No, it isn't. It's been demonstrated. Audience can decide for themselves. There's no point carrying on with yes, it is. No, it isn't. There it is. Take it or leave it.
Okay, yeah, something that's 50 feet and over a hot surface compared to Soundly's video, which is several miles and higher up off the ground. I mean,
Yeah,
this
we
is
get the
just
same effect.
it looks the same, therefore we can use it.
It's
I mean,
the
look at
same
that miraging going on in the back because it's such a hot surface. What a
same
stupid
effect, though.
thing to
Doesn't
do.
matter.
What a
So
stupid thing to
okay,
do.
well, if you want to move on that direction, Tim, fine. Have you challenged Soundly to replicate this footage going up in elevation to see if it is the optical effect or not?
He's done that.
Has he?
Have you ever watched his channel?
No. Why would we
No.
watch his channel? It's
Not
the
at
same
all.
crap regurgitated.
Because
Rinse and repeat.
it's the same crap regurgitated. He has better equipment than you, and he does it in a different
So
part
what?
of
He
the world.
hasn't
I
got
would
better
watch.
evidence than us. Why would we watch?
This is the difference. This is the difference between flat Earth and people that believe that it's a sphere, like myself, where I go on and I've watched and heard all of the flat Earth arguments, but people like in the flat Earth, like Arwen and Nathan, hardly ever come onto my channel. Won't go on to people's like Soundly's because it goes against their bias. So who's more unbiased? Who's more open-minded about this? Well, it's very evident.
Yeah,
But
but
you
who's the
guys
one
just
with the
sit here,
evidence?
watch Phuket Word, who has been wrong
Can I
continuously
give you
about
sorry.
everything. And this is where you're at. You're literally gaslighting, seeing curvature, saying it's mirages, seeing
So,
curvature
can I address
from
that?
altitude.
Can I address that, please, Tim? So, does the curve that Soundly spots and presumably measures, does that have anything to do with, say, for instance, the radius used when they plot trajectories to travel around the sphere that we live on? Do they refer to Soundly for that at all?
No, he just does observations. Nothing to do with anything.
So why the hell would I care? If they have a value in place of this R, who cares what Soundly shows? He's just a YouTuber.
Because he does observations halfway across the world, Nathan.
So
That you
maybe
can
you've missed
compare
my
and
question.
contrast with your
If
flat
we
Earth
already... Stop shouting, please. If we already have an R value, and it's put in place for things like the satellites that apparently travel around the planet, who cares what Soundly shows if they've already got a value for that, right?
He's not talking about the value. These are observations.
Sorry.
What are you
If
talking
you're
about?
referring to a spherical Earth, it has a radius, doesn't it?
Has nothing to do with observations he
Yeah,
makes. I don't know why you're trying to
It
make
doesn't
this
have
up.
anything to do with observation. Hold on a second.
He does observations just like me. It's like taking any of my observations and saying, well, they say there's a radius to the Earth. Well, I do observations. Who cares? Like, you can watch my videos. I don't edit them. I don't do anything to them.
I'll answer you.
Chocolate saying?
What's up, guys?
Do you see the curvature chocolate?
So
Beautiful
my
curvature.
point is, Tim, that we already have a system in place. Society is under this impression that we have a planet and satellites travel around it, and they have a radius value for that. So in terms of Soundly in his presentation, it makes no difference if we debunk Soundly, does it? Because they still have a value in society for R.
Jesus, man. Talk about a non sequitur. I have no idea where you're going with this. And you've been such a good moderator. I don't want to piss you off today. It's been good.
Can I talk again, Tim?
Surely.
Can you share my screen? Can you see that diagram?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. The Z plus is where you're standing, and the minus Z is where your buildings are. And you are observing a curve. So if you looked at that Z axis from the minus X, you should be able to see a curve. Now you go and take your camera and take a photograph of that 26 miles and show whether it's flat or curved.
I don't even
All
know.
you're doing is confirming a bias by taking the same photograph over a number of days.
No,
You
no.
need-
What I'm doing,
you
what
need
I'm
to look at
doing
the
is
X-axis
taking. Look, what I'm taking is a photograph of Salt Lake City over the Great Salt Lake. It's not confirming my bias.
Well, it is a bias if you're not prepared to do the X-axis.
What? How? Go ahead and tell me how I'm to do that with a P900 or a Nikon D3200. Well, how do I do that?
Do you not understand the diagram I've got up?
I don't care about your diagram. Tell me how to do it.
26 miles ahead of you. So you need to go to the left or the right, 13 miles maybe, and then look at the same
It's not
line.
visible from 13 miles away.
I know, but you're gonna have to move in the middle of that 26 miles and observe your z-axis, but as an x-axis.
Well, how? What are you talking about? Are you stupid? It would be a z-axis at that point again.
No, your curve on the z-axis will become an x-axis if you look at it from minus x.
I think
you know what I'm saying.
Go back to study geometry.
Yeah, dude. I don't think you know what you're talking about, man.
Okay, all right.
Right, well, I'll just reiterate what he said, and I'll use your picture, if you don't mind, Mark, if you can leave it on screen. You are looking along this axis, right? Along the z-axis, and you are saying that it curves, right? You've got an obstruction. That would be curvature that you are claiming. Therefore, if you stand on the x-axis and look across the exact same expanse, you will see said curve that you think is obstructing things on the x-axis when you look down the exact same line. It is relatively straightforward, and he is absolutely correct.
Yeah, I must be missing something. Like, really,
yeah, no problem. I can go through it again. It's no problem at all if you're missing something. You are looking down this axis. Z, you claim between point here, for the audience, front end of Z, and back end of Z, there is a curve which obscures your view of things at the other end of Z. If there is a curve... Oh, Mark, can you put your screen back on? Mark. If there is a curve between here and here, then you should be able to photograph it when looking along this axis, x-axis. You will see the curve in your picture. It is very straightforward. That is it. That is what Marcus explained. Why you choose to ignore this is beyond me. But there we go. There you go. It's been explained twice.
To the audience, you know that, right? You're talking to the audience, not me. You're not showing me what you're just showing the audience, not me.
It's called belittling you, Tim, by talking to his audience while he does it.
Your cursor wasn't showing.
Thank you. I don't. Okay.
If there's a curve, there's a curve. It's as simple as that.
Why does moving 13 miles to the left or right prove anything, though?
Yeah, that's my point. Is I can't visualize this, how this is any different than what I'm actually showing, because I have observations from about 3 or 4 miles away as well. The same thing. I can go to Antelope Island, do another observation where it's the same thing.
Right. Can you see the cursor moving? This is what I was saying. You're standing with your camera at plus Z. I'm saying go 13 miles that way and another 13 miles that way, and you're going to look back again at your original Z axis. Can you do that? Does the ground allow you to be able to do that? 13 miles that way and 13 miles that way.
Come on, Tim. It's a straightforward question.
You're trying to obscure it by laughing at 13 miles when it's quite clear what I'm asking, and you do understand what I'm saying. And you cannot support. You cannot support all your photographs from the same position.
Maybe he doesn't understand it. Maybe you need to dumb it down a little bit for him.
So let me tell you why I do it over water and why I have changed relatively the x-axis. Is that there's a causeway that goes from Salt Lake City to Antelope Island. Okay, I can go from each end of the causeway and do this observation. The point being is that I'm observing over said flat water the buildings. Okay, so if I go onto land and start observing, it's really neither here nor there, because then we all know that land has topography. What this observation is showing that you guys still haven't explained on any grounds at all is that it's over the Great Salt Lake, which is very, very level water, and 26 miles away, about 2/3 of the buildings are gone at all times. Every single time I go out there, they're gone.
You said
so
very
you can
level,
tell me
very level water. You said I don't understand.
Well,
is it
very
a curve
level
or
water,
is it very
yes.
level?
It's very level. Do you understand what level on a sphere is?
No, that's a contradiction in terms.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, I didn't say flat. I said level. Level on a
very,
sphere.
very level. You actually said very, very level.
Yes, sometimes it's completely level.
Just for the audience, you don't get level on a sphere. That's what a sphere is, something that has no level surfaces.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. That's
level
what makes it a sphere. That is by nature what a sphere is. Not flat in any part, curved in every direction. That's what a sphere is. The antithesis of flat.
I never said flat. See, this is where you're complaining.
You said very, very flat. Also, you did.
I said no.
No, he said level.
What the fuck?
He said level.
You guys can't even help. You guys can't even help but strawman me. You guys can't even help but strawman me. That's amazing that you hear what you want to from me. That's amazing.
He did say level. He didn't say flat. He said level.
Thank you, Anthony. Usually it's you doing it. Thank you.
You said very, very level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's level.
Yeah,
the sphere, to the radius of the sphere. It's the center of the earth.
Skins on an onion. That's what he means.
Yes, thank you.
Right.
At least we can agree with that.
So you said that nobody has addressed your claim, but I spent 2 minutes explaining there was a superior mirage. Would you like me to do it again, or would you like to retract your statement?
So because there are miraging effects.
No, answer the question.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you. So because there are miraging effects.
You said that nobody's dealt with your observation, and I spent 2 minutes on it, and I explained about mirages. Would you like me to re-explain it to you, or would you like to retract your comment?
I don't think it's a superior mirage, first of all.
Right, so you need it re-explaining. Nathan, would you mind presenting my screen?
No, you don't understand what a superior mirage is.
Yeah, I do. Why is the
difference? What is the difference between an inferior and a superior mirage?
You tell me why this is not a superior mirage, and I'll tell you why.
What is the difference? What is the difference between an inferior and a superior mirage?
Right, while this obfuscation continues back and forth for probably the next couple of minutes, I'm going to do a quick link, so hope you're all enjoying the debate thus far. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and a link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream. Please also share the show. Massive thanks to all who have done so already. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. As I say, there is approximately 1 hour left on this live stream.
So Tim, I asked you ages ago, was this a superior or an inferior mirage? I think it's a superior, and your answer at the time was you think it's an inferior. And I said if that was the case, then and it would have to be below the horizon. Agreed? We all know what an inferior mirage is. So if you're saying that this is the actual horizon and this is an inferior mirage, then these buildings are not tall enough. Have I been kicked?
Tim, you're muted.
Alrighty, so is it a superior or inferior?
You tell me.
What's
I'm
the
asking you.
difference? No, I asked you first.
No, you didn't. I asked you ages ago, and then the point got obfuscated.
No, you didn't. You didn't ask that question ever in this. You can go back. So what's the difference between a superior and an inferior mirage?
The position, right. I asked Nathan, can you moderate this? I asked him ages ago, was this a superior or an inferior mirage?
Well, what's the point? Let's okay, rather than assessing the answer on who's right or wrong, what's the point, Tim? So it's your question. If you want to take it as your question, cool. What's the point of the question? Does it matter if he's got the terminology wrong?
No,
he asserted. He does have the terminology wrong.
No, I don't, Tim. You're lying.
So he does. He did say and assert at the very beginning it was superior. And I said it. I believe it to be an inferior.
No, Tim. I said it was a superior.
And you need to talk all over me. So go ahead.
I asked you why, and he didn't give me an answer.
Even though the moderator had me talk, go ahead and talk because you're Tim Osmond. Go ahead.
I asked you at the beginning, was this a superior or an inferior mirage? I said I felt it was superior.
No, you didn't say that ever.
Tim, you're lying.
Do you want to bet?
No, I'd rather you just leave.
But I've just
Ah.
oh no.
Okay.
What's the point of the actual question? So whether or not it's superior or inferior, is that relevant to the obstruction?
It's not. It's not.
It absolutely is.
It's not.
Okay, no, well, fine, Anthony. Why is it relevant?
If it's a superior mirage, the obstruction is not curvature. The obstruction is the mirage itself. If it's inferior mirage, we have a line of sight to the bottom of the buildings that we can see, and the horizon is giving us a reflection that shows there is no bulge. So whichever way you want it, Tim, I don't really care. If this is an inferior mirage, the way you're describing, that means the hard horizon is there, and therefore the Earth may be curved. However, we have a reflection underneath it, proving that there's no bulge. So which one do you want?
Can you define your term hard horizon?
He pointed at it.
No, I'm not defining
okay.
it.
So you won't define your terms. Okay. So then you also strawman me and said that you asked me what a superior inferior mirage was at the beginning, which you never did. And then you said that you were going to explain it to me. Do I need to explain it to you again, Tim Osmond? Well, I'm asking you to explain it now, and you won't.
I have done. I've
and
done
you
it.
Won't.
Whichever way you want it, Tim, and I don't care which. Which type of? You tell
And
me.
you
Which is the
won't.
mirage? Is it superior?
You won't
or
because you
inferior?
can't.
Is it superior or inferior, Tim?
It's really, really, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah, it
matter
does.
because more than half the buildings and hundreds of feet and other buildings are completely gone. They're gone, and they have been 5 times that I've been back. Every single time, I see the same thing. And yes, every time I've gotten some sort of miraging or mirroring. Yes,
Have you got
that's
evidence to
not.
support that assertion that you've been back 5 times and seen it the same 5 times?
Yeah, I have actually right here all of my videos and
Right,
images.
put them on screen. Let's do a freeze frame, and we'll compare all 5.
That's not. It's really neither here nor there because what I show always gets just ad hoc reasoning. Every time does not explain why
Tim, you're
more
obfuscating.
than half of the buildings are being obstructed every single time.
So you don't. So do you even accept it's a mirage then?
Do you not listen to the words that I say? Because I just said that every time that I've been back, there's some kind of miraging or mirroring effect going on every time.
Support the assertion, so the assertion's dropped. So we revert back to the previous point. Do you accept that this is a mirage or not?
I don't have any evidence for the assertion. Well, yeah, actually I do. I have my my 3 terabyte hard drive here with all of my images and my Phantom
Right.
and
So
all of
present
them.
And let's see the 5 times that you claim that it's always the same.
It doesn't matter. This is how you obfuscate. Okay, I would have to go through quite a bit.
I'm calling you for your evidence, and you haven't got any evidence, so we can drop your point and go back to the previous point.
So here's one day. Let's see. This is on the what is this? This is the 29th of April.
Right, let's get a freeze frame. So Nathan, if you put him on screen. So 29th of April. Let's have a look and get a freeze frame.
Yep. And as you can see, 3/4 of the buildings are gone.
Hang on, let me get a screenshot of that. Bear with me. Hide that. So snipping tool, just bear with me while I get it.
Yeah. Get all these screenshots because you're never going to find the bottom of the buildings. Furthermore, you're not going to find any of the buildings that are near the coastline. Furthermore, you're never going to see this huge highway I-15 that is elevated even from this water level ever in any of these images ever.
That's okay. Well, let's go
That's
through.
okay.
Let's
Well,
see
it's not on a flat Earth.
Let's go through these
It's not.
evidences and let's see where we get to.
I'm seeing the same effect every time. It's a mirage every time. It's a
It's a
reflection
mirage,
of
of
the
course.
upper part downward every single time.
Okay, but where is the bottom of the building? There's buildings down
it's
here.
obscured. It's obscured by the
By what?
Can we
Water?
see another example, Tim, of because you've given us 1 of 5. Let's get 2 and then we'll compare the other 2.
Where's the buildings that are right here, Arwin?
Right. Okay. So let's. In that case, if you're not going to do that,
They're under the water. They're under the water. Is that what you're saying?
No, Tim. Look at my screen, please. Oops. Balls. Share screen. Are you seeing my screen,
So
Tim?
you're going to show that there's some kind of miraging, or what are you going to show? Like seriously?
Where your horizon's gone. Right. Can you see my screen, Tim? Can you see my screen, Tim?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Right. There's a black line that goes through the horizon, through the band of mirroring, the limit of the refraction band. Can you see the black line?
Are you going to address why you can't see 3/4 of the building?
He is. That's exactly what he's doing.
You said it. Well, hang on. The first point I'm making is that you said it
miraging
was the
effects,
same every
but
time.
it's not miraging
Hang
the
on,
bottom
hang
of
on. The point of this
it's
at the moment
miraging
is
the
to
top
establish whether or
of the
not it's
buildings.
the same every time.
It's
Is this
miraging the
same as
top
previous?
of the building.
Yeah, indeed, it is.
So why doesn't it mirage the bottom of the buildings? Where are the bottom of the buildings? Are
They're
they there?
obscured by the mirage.
Correct.
They're obscured by the mirage.
Yeah, the reflection is in the way.
So
The
I'm guessing.
reflection
Yeah.
is obscuring actual buildings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on
So let's
screen
work-
now. Literally on screen now. That's what's on screen. Unless you're going to
So
claim that the sky is obscuring these buildings, because currently on the far right, again I can only highlight this for the audience, there's sky underneath buildings. So you're going to say that it's the sky that's obscuring them? Because that ain't curve, is it?
So
And
which is this building here?
In the lower image there, if there is a building that is not high enough, that is lower, that is underneath that black line that Riley put there, then there's only going to be sky reflected over that. So you won't see them because you're seeing the mirage of the sky above, over it. That's why you don't see those buildings.
I don't think you guys will ever be able to get yourself out of this flat earth belief. I really don't.
I'm trying to address it. Tim, can you tell me which building this is? If you're looking at the same set of buildings, which building is this?
Oh,
It's the tallest. It's the Wells Fargo building on the very left.
Nathan,
Yeah.
the stream is says it's offline.
So some days more of the building is appears than other days.
Well, yes and no. These
Okay.
observations are from because
But
they're from
you
different.
You said 3/4.
Ask me a question and then talk over me. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, I missed that. What?
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so these are from different heights, different observation heights, dude. Okay, that's what you do. You don't take little pinhole camera images that you can barely see anything from, and say, well, look, this is from 10 miles away. Well, I'm doing different observation heights. Okay, bud?
We're offline currently.
We're not.
Yeah, no.
Just a glitch.
All right.
It is saying offline though, Nathan.
Oh, it's
Let me
now
see.
restarting.
It is restarting.
Just have an
Yeah,
internet
Nate,
glitch.
it
Don't worry
did
about it.
1 hour and 11 minutes.
Gonna start up a new stream, Nathan?
Oh, has it actually ended?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're still streaming according to this.
1 hour,
It-
11 minutes.
I
it
reloaded
says.
and it's restarting. It's now at 1 hour and 10 minutes long.
You're not live on the public screen.
It's cut off. I don't know why.
Yeah, not live here.
No, you're right. It's ended.
That's weird, man.
Very, very weird. No worries. Give me 2 minutes. I'll set up again.
Anyway, nice moderating today, Nate. I appreciate it, man.
Same as ever.
No, it's not. But today you did well. That's good. Appreciate it. So anyway, Alan, what do you think of these guys?